Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video, and today's video is the video what we promised yesterday in the midst of all that disappointment, sadness and anger about Steven Gerrard's exit from Rangers. There is a potential beacon of light / excitement, and that's exactly what we're here to talk about today, which is of course, who will be the man to replace him. So that's pretty much what this video is going to be, ladies and gentlemen, talking about who will be the next man into the door. We'll rubbish some BS rumours, we'll look at some absolute nonsense that's been peddled out there by journalists trying to help their pals out, BS media, nonsense. We'll discuss all that in today's video. We'll also discussing who I would like to see take over and break down that in some detail. But to start us off in today's video, I think we'll start with how Rangers have actually responded and what they're actually doing right now regarding this news, because we've been doing this channel for many years, me, Andy. We've seen how badly this can go wrong when a manager leaves and how much of a mess we've been in before, with the Murray situation, being in charge for a certain amount of time, no real having anybody anywhere or a plan at all, and we've mocked that, we've been raging at that, we've been frustrated at that, and we've all shared that experience together. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it brings me so much joy, especially regarding the tension and the old honest, that is not the case this time. Nah. There has been a contingency plan put in place, and that there is massive. Because again, there has been teams been sniffing around Steven Gerrard and that before. I think we all knew deep down that they would come, obviously, when he did move on. I don't think many of us were expecting it 2 weeks before a semi-final, if his last words being in a Rangers interview talking about Rangers was the only priority over the next few weeks. Don't think many of us saw it coming right now, but again, the day was always going to come that he would leave the football club, and it's good to see the board had that well and truly prepared, because they've not only just had like a wee eye on someone, or they might have someone, no, they've actually got a short list of candidates that they've actually been keeping an eye on during the time in that as well, which is absolutely fantastic and really just calms me down and stops me from spiraling thinking I'm going to be seeing multi memes and temporary managers in charge or anything like that. Just soothes me right down to here where I can start getting excited. Especially regarding the quickness, because we know how quickly this needs to be done with what's coming up and everything like that, and we know the sooner the actual better, but sometimes it doesn't go like that in the old business world, ladies and gentlemen. But Rangers are certainly taking that stride right in there, as they're already being in contact with the candidates that is in the shortlist, and every single one of them will have a sit down and have a meeting, and Rangers will see who is the best man for the actual job, and that should be done over the next couple of days, and Monday should be the day that we're all waiting for. But before we do get lost on the potential next Rangers manager, let's rubbish some of the BS that's actually out there and calm everyone's nerves down even further then, shall we? Starting off with the first one that continues to be brandied about. Derek McInnes is not in the running for the next Rangers manager. Everyone can breathe easy. They can release the walnut that's currently crunched in between the old butt cheeks. It's not officially happening at all, ladies and gentlemen. All you're seeing right now is journalists helping one of their pals out by putting their name out there and getting branded with a job that everyone is looking into to try and get his name in and around people's lips. So someday, the next time a job comes up, they say, "Oh aye, Derek McInnes, let's get him in." Because Derek's been unemployed now for a wee while, despite his media gigs at Rangers and checking in on his prodigal son Scott Wright at every single Rangers game. He's not been linked with many jobs, and this one's came up, and again, it's just some old pals acting, helping him out by putting his name in amongst the lights. And again, I've not got nothing personally against Derek McInnes. He had his opportunity a few years ago. It was all lined up for him and he had the chance. He said no, and now he's made his bed and he needs to live in that forever, as he isn't in the running for the next Rangers job. Speaking of not being in the running, by the way, and not being on the old shortlist for candidates, is going to be the next man by the name of Russell Martin, who of course spent a wee bit of time here and then he's went on to be manager and he's been doing okay and it done some nice stuff at MK Dons. Now he's just joined Swansea and he's got a bit of a project there that's going to take a couple of years at least to turn around, in my opinion. But I just wanted to rubbish that as well. I've seen some betting companies giving odds and people starting to talk up and asking in yesterday's comment section. There's none in this at all. He's happy at Swansea. He's got a big project there, and Rangers aren't interested in him. So I didn't want to waste too much time on those two names or anything. I just wanted to rubbish them very quickly and move on from them. They matter the articles or that you see over the next couple of days. Just people trying to cash in and get some money from clickbait. So you can forget about them, people. Let's move ahead and go ahead and speak about someone that is officially confirmed to be on the Rangers shortlist by the name of Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, people. And even just saying the name gets the plump bags going like that. And I'll be honest with you, he is the meat and tatties of today's video. He is the main focus of today's video. And how could it not be? I mean, look at that. Isn't that the most magnificent thing you've seen? Honestly, man, it would bring a tear to a glass eye if Hampden was like that in a couple of weeks. And by the way, shout out to Griggs' Gloves for making that wonderful, wonderful picture. It's on everybody's phone right now, and no wonder we all want to see that. Shout out to you, mate. Some claps in the comments for Griggs. Come on, let's bring it in. Let's see. It lifted us up and gave us something to look forward to. And can I just point out, by the way, because I didn't think I've mentioned it, more of this. Please, Fab. I don't know if you know who this guy actually is and if you pay attention, but usually when Fab speaks, it usually comes to existence. So now that the fact that he's actually tweeting out about Giovanni Van Bronckhorst is honestly exactly the tonic that I needed. But diving in now throughout the rest of the video and what the main focus is going to be. Normally we do player profiles right here on the channel. Well, it's been a wee while since we've done a manager profile, so let's just jump right into this then, shall we? Looking at Giovanni after he retired just after the World Cup, he went ahead and joined Feyenoord, and obviously another former team of his as an assistant where he worked beside Koeman over the next couple of years. Now, over these couple of years, by the way, he started to hear a wee bit, he started to make a wee bit of name for himself, and he started getting a lot of praise, not only from Koeman but around the place. Very, very similar to what we have, or what we had under what we had with Michael Beale at Rangers, where we sort of knew that he was the tactics guy, he was the instructions guy, he was the one that was building this, and he was the one that was building this. Gerrard was fantastic at being the manager and the player and the personality and the guy to front everything, but we always heard that Michael Beale was doing this, Beale ball, etc, etc. It was very, very reminiscent of what Giovanni was doing under his time at Koeman, and it was only a matter of when, not if, he would then be given a main manager position. But where Michael Beale's obviously followed Steven Gerrard down to Aston Villa, when Koeman went ahead and left Feyenoord, Feyenoord just looked right to our boy Giovanni and says, we'll take you. And it's got to be said, people, they genuinely never look back. In Giovanni's first full season at the football club, they went ahead and lifted a trophy, a kind of domestic cup and everything like that, if you will. But in his second season is where he made all the headlines, and he really did explode, and people really started to look at him about how good of a manager he actually was, because he led them in his second season at the football club all the way to the promised land, lifting the league title for the first time in 18 years for Feyenoord on a shoestring budget compared to what was absolutely a rundown with Ajax and everything like that. The money that was being spent, the fact that he was able to take them in just his second season in charge all the way to lifting the trophy, still to this day is celebrated as an absolute incredible achievement, and that's why he's so loved, not only as a player but as a manager over there. It's really hard to sit here and put into words just how much of a surprise this actually was, because not many people were really giving Feyenoord the opportunity to go ahead and win the league title, and that's despite winning a trophy in Giovanni's first season. There were still heavy favourites, Ajax and everything like that, so to him, going all the way and being able to do that was something that was very, very surprising and celebrated, and really put his name out there. But again, despite not obviously defending the title the next again year, and he didn't actually go ahead and lift the league title again, he still won trophy after trophy at his time at Feyenoord, and he really built a competitive squad. Because if you look at it, of the 5 trophies that Feyenoord's won in the last 14 years, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst was the manager for every single one of them, and that is a tremendous achievement in itself. And the argument could genuinely be made he would have won a hell of a lot more if that Ajax team at that time didn't explode with unbelievable talent after talent after talent. I mean, they were 1 second away from a Champions League final round about that time. You had De Ligt, you had De Jong, you had Tadic, you had all these unbelievable players that was playing for Ajax at that time, and that really kind of slowed the old league titles down. Or Feyenoord he could probably still be there, being very, very excited. But it reached that point where he had won every single thing that he could at Feyenoord, and from the 2018 season he confirmed that it would be, the next one, sorry, his last, and he would be leaving at the end of his contract. And from there, he ended up going over to China for 1 season, but ended up having to come away from it after just the 1 year because of COVID and everything that happened with the world. He wanted to go back with his family, and again, you can't blame the man for going ahead and do that. And since that, he's just been sitting and waiting for the right opportunity and the right project, because he's been linked for jobs. I mean, since for doing this video and over the last couple of days reading into laddie, I never realised how many jobs he's actually been linked to since that. So it shows you just how good and how well thought of he actually is. But he's been waiting and waiting for the right job that's been clickbaited everywhere right now. And you've probably seen that interview from last year where he was talking about Rangers and Arsenal and Barcelona. That's the teams that he would love to manage, and he would love to be able to go there. Well, now the door's open. Giovanni's sitting there waiting. We need a manager. Come in now, Gio. Come in now, son. Didn't tease me in you come. No, please. But moving away from kind of the manager profile or anything, the main reason and the biggest reason I want that, because not only is his CV impressive and the fact that he did win literally everything there is to win over in Holland, it's the way he goes about his business and how he lines up his team and his setup and his formation and what he does, for me, really elevates him up in the list over the likes of Gattuso and De Boer and all these other names that starts out there. It's the way he goes about his business that takes it to the next level, and that's what I want to talk about next, right? Because look at the timing of this, right? We've got a semi-final very, very shortly. We are going in to the December fixtures that we all know is the make and break point of every single league campaign. There's games every 2.5 minutes, it feels like, and if a new manager came in that was wanting to drastically change everything and rip the carpet up and have a new formation, a new style, everything like that, that could cause a lot of headaches and be very, very scary to watch out. But the fact that this man plays a 4-3-3, and that's been his main formation that he's played throughout his time as an actual manager. It's a lot more attacking than our one, and where ours is kind of based on possession and everything like that. He has two midfielders being box to box, and the third midfielder just being pretty much right up there next to the striker, almost a shadow striker if you want. It's a very, very attacking formation. It's really in the cam formation, and I think that right there is a perfect fit that wouldn't mess up and put us through a tough time where we need to drastically change anything. We know that these players have religiously played the 4-3-3 for the last couple of years now since Gerrard's walked in the door. Getting another manager in that likes that setup with a couple of wee tweaks and changes, for me, being more attacking, is the perfect scenario, and it's exactly what I was wanting, ironically, from Gerrard's time. I wanted to see a change. I wanted to see us more attacking, and the fact that he has this guy and he has the cam role, which is honestly made for our boy Hadji. I don't know if you watched him last night, but he was absolutely sensational again, putting balls in behind for people. Genuinely, him and Bakuna could explode and really become the players for Rangers in that centre attacking midfielder role if he does bring the exact same style of play that he'd done at Feyenoord in China right up the road to us. It genuinely just makes too much sense. It genuinely ticks too many boxes. I really hope this is the way that we actually go. We know he's having a meeting, and hopefully that meeting works out absolutely perfectly. Now, one of the things that I've seen online where a couple of people kind of clapping back and everything, that's not about the money that was spent over the next couple of years, but if you look at his first couple of years, including the year that he went ahead and won the league title and wrestled that away from other people that was spending money, he didn't have a big budget. He didn't have massive finances or anything. It was only the last couple of years of that where he started getting money from the Champions League and all that stuff in Europa League that they started to actually spend. If you look at his first couple of years when he started, and his first year winning that trophy and then winning the league title, there wasn't a massive amount spent, so he can work within a budget. He showed that, so I wouldn't worry about that as well, and believe in the moon howling nonsense that you're seeing elsewhere. They didn't care none. You know they didn't care none. Just didn't pay attention. And that's all I've really got to say about this one. This is my first and hopefully my last managerial profile for the next search for Rangers. You can see where I sit. I want Giovanni every single day of the old week. But again, there is a couple of interesting names out there like Gattuso and everything like that, and that would genuinely be funny. Can you imagine him and Alfredo Morelos having a conversation and everything like that, trying to calm each other down? Absolutely brilliant. Can you imagine him standing at the sidelines when Motherwell's time wasting 74 minutes of the 90 that's actually available? He'd batter every single one of them, and the dugout. It would be carnage. But again, the way he sets up and the way he plays, and again, he has done some good stuff over in Italy. For me, it would be a bit of a worry. I just look at Giovanni and I just look at the entire picture and I just feel comfortable, and I think that is the route we need to go on. But again, this is just my opinion. I'm an idiot, so you can feel free to shout at me down there in the comment section below. And that's the only thing that's left to do in today's video. I want to know where your thoughts and opinions are regarding the Rangers managerial search. Who do you want to see? What do you think of Giovanni now that I've spoken about him? Is that the guy you want, or do you want to go in a different direction? Again, get involved down there in the comment section below. That is what we do right here. It's never about me and just my opinion. That's about the conversation and the back and forth, because let's be honest, I'm usually wrong all the time anyway, and you're quick to point that fricking out. But that's me, done and dusted, ladies and gentlemen. Back-to-back videos after being off a wee while. Getting sick of me already. I feel it a little bit. But until next time, take care of yourselves. All the best. I've been Siege Over 92. That has been Rocky Boy Johnson. Bye.